One interesting question that Kate actually brought up, Kate Farrell of the Hunger Games Trilogy fan site, was whether or not Suzanne Collins might ever write a prequel, sort of discussing how Panem was created, how the districts were developed. And I think her question might be an interesting one to discuss for just a couple of minutes, because there was that sort of like weird, sketchy rumor that came out of, I don't remember where, like the Hollywood Reporter, so I don't know what it's called, about something similar, about there being more information about the formation of Panem in the film. Does anyone remember hearing about that, like yesterday or a couple of days ago? Yeah, where did that come from? Mm-hmm. Where did that report come from?
I'm not sure. It was Hollywood Reporter. Wasn't it? No, not Hollywood. It was Hollywood something.
Hollywood. I don't know. Hollywood something. But, someone mentioned that maybe that wasn't the most reliable source.
Yeah. And I remember it being a reliable source. I remember being surprised that they'd heard about
Hollywood Life.
Hollywood Life.
From Hollywood Life.
Hollywood Life. Okay, great.
What?
So what do you guys think? Do you think that, of course we don't know what Suzanne Collins is thinking, what's brewing in her mind, but do you think there's a possibility for a prequel, or do you think, the film producers might want a prequel at some point?
I mean, my guess is, I don't know if she's actually going to sit down and write a prequel book, but I'm thinking that maybe in order to give some more backstory in the film, they asked her to, obviously it's her story, so they wanted her to do it, because I'm assuming they might go more into her father's story, which would, she's mentioned, but not, a lot about their past. So, I mean, I'm thinking maybe just for the film purposes, she'll write in some stuff that, how she saw fit. I don't know. That's just a guess, though.
Well, something you could have is the equivalent of, like, the Silmarillion from Lord of the Rings, a kind of backstory, almost biblical type tale of history. Someone else was going to say something. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh. I was just going to say that, we learn about the Hunger Games through Katniss's thoughts. I mean, we learn about the past of the Hunger Games. So I wouldn't, to me, like, I agree. I think they probably went to Suzanne and asked for, details, how, like they've done with J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter. Mm-hmm. It's like, how did this happen? How did this start? And then utilize that to visually show, the past, rather than obviously, instead of just a voiceover, we've got, we have visual of maybe past Hunger Games, or maybe even a brief shot of, like, say, the Uprising, the Dark Days and things, just to visually show to the audience and, make it that much more appealing, the beginning of the film. So,
right, I agree.
I think
you can go through a lot more internal thought, but in a movie you can't just sit there looking at somebody while they're, like, thinking something in their head, So they have to be a little bit more visual. So I agree with what you just said.
Well, I was just thinking this sounds like a great experiment for, and I think a teaming up that we would all love would be if Kim Shelby, who made that Hunger Games Project trailer, could do some kind of pre-Pan-Am video, and then maybe joined alongside by the true Renaissance man of all Hunger Games, that Sam Cushion, who I know is one of our best listeners. He should do the score. And by the way, speaking of Sam Cushion, he made a very interesting point on our Twitter hashtag. He said, "I've never played a video game from a movie that I was impressed with. They are, for the most part, just an elaborate ad." And I think that's a great point. And that might even be what the Hunger Games video game is. It's an advertisement to get more people to read the book and see the movie. So, it's interesting. I'd love to know what happened before in Pan Am. I think it would be an absolute treat.